During the Thousand-Year Reich, AH didn't need to conquer the world with tanks alone. He conquered minds by turning people against each other. He created enemies within, stoked fear, and sold purity as peace. The tactic? Make people hate each other more than they question power. Sound familiar? Today's regime doesn't wear a uniform. It wears a brand deal. It doesn't knock on your door. It slides into your feed. And instead of silencing dissent with force, it does something far more effective. It convinces you to do it yourself. Somehow, along the way, freedom of expression became freedom to agree with me, or you're trash, you're garbage. You're nothing if you don't conform to the societal norm. And the societal norm is, well, you get the idea. You must like what I like, think how I think, and if you don't, you're a threat, a bigot, a monster. Differing of opinion? We can't have that. People speaking their mind? Oh, no. If it doesn't fall within the guidelines of what the general population should think, if it's a little too edgy or a little too offensive, keep it to yourself. Freedom of speech only goes one way, apparently, in this day and age. We used to burn books, and we used to silence people with ropes and chains. Now, we spread rumors and lies and attempt to get them deplatformed. It's the same fire, just a different smoke. Enter Kirsche. She stands for what she believes in. She talks about what she wants. Her opinion has never changed or differed. She is who she is. And the internet does what it does. If you are who you are, and in your uniqueness, you offend the easily offended. They take your clips, they take what you say, they take what you post, and they take what you do, and they twist it out of context. All of it. Your content, your words, and they light a fire under you. Take, for example, this post. Virtual YouTubers. A serious discussion about Kirsche and her bigotry. This whole post has a slew of things about Kirsche that have been taken out of context. All of these links lead you to believe something if you don't have a mind of your own to actually use critical thought. We have posts and we have comments as well. All of these people have either been sold on the idea of not having unique personality, of not changing the channel when you don't agree with something. All of these people have bought into the offended mindset, the victim mindset. Technically, there are 3 mindsets. There is a villain mindset, a hero mindset, and a victim mindset. And you will experience these all throughout your life. And there is a triangle called the drama triangle, which perfectly implements each role. Here we see the victim seeks security, the hero seeks value, and the villain seeks control. The victim comes from a place of helplessness, saying, "There's no way. I don't have a choice. This isn't fair. Why me?" The villain comes from a place of accusation and blame, saying, "This is your fault. You're wrong. And whose fault is this?" The hero comes from a place of saving others and giving temporary relief, saying, I'll do this for you, poor you, and who needs help. In their own unique way, all of these, when gone unchecked, can be very, very toxic. But the three rules of the triangle are that the hero is a rescuer, and the villain is a prosecutor, and the victim, well, I don't think I need to say what the victim is. But we sure do know what a victim looks like. This post definitely screams victim, as well as most of the internet today. If you do not conform to what they say, conform to what they want you to be, conform to their opinions and beliefs. We used to accept everybody for who they are. Now, if we don't like who you are, we try to change you or mold you into what we like you to be. Sounds kind of like the Thousand Reich, AH. And let me preface by saying, the only time it's not okay to do something is if you are attempting to hurt yourself or someone else. So, this post on X is definitely not okay since it's attempting to slander Kirsche and spread rumors about her. This rumor, for example, of transphobia. They linked a post where Kirsche said, once it's realized that most trans activists are autogonophiliac males or ideologues pushing their political views with an identity shield to prevent criticism, all of the power-hungry threats and graphic murder fantasies make a lot more sense. So I decided to click on this post. And where does it take me? Well, it takes me to a picture of a button that is quite possibly made by an extremist, or at least I would consider them an extremist. And the button says, hate trans people, with a nice little question mark. Gut yourself. Obviously, it says a different word. But this is one of those points. You want to tell us that all you want is acceptance and we refuse to accept you. But in actuality, it's the other way around. You refuse to accept us for our beliefs, even if we practice them in a way that is more peaceful than even this. We don't say, hate straight people. Gut yourself. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that has a rational mind or half a brain cell. Maybe someone operating off of their meds, sure. But this is not the case. So all she is saying with this post, and not even all trans activists, she said most. And from her experience, from her perspective, it very well might be most, are calling for death if you hate something. Hate for them is disagree with or don't practice. Hate for me is much stronger. This kind of strong. The kind of strong that they are supposedly against and yet for. Here's another post taken out of context on this X page. Her fan name is KK Kirsche, a fact she openly acknowledges through retweets. And when I click on it, it takes me to a page of someone with an unfiltered sense of humor. Let's be honest, it's kind of an unfiltered sense of humor. I got you now, KK Kirsche. Get ready for this killer Keemstar word I cannot say on YouTube. Amazing, we can put naked yoga on YouTube. But we can't put how we truly feel in words. Gonna glaze ya like a Dunkin' Donut. Now obviously, this is a joke. This is actually kind of funny if you don't look at it through the prism of a victim. Is it a little edgy? Absolutely. But the real trick to being funny is making the time between tragedy and comedy as short as humanly possible. And I really do think this post does do that. And her response? She retweets it. She doesn't get offended. She doesn't call them a sexist. She doesn't tell them that they're being a degenerate. She laughs about it. She has fun with it. Is it a little disturbing and a little edgy? Yes. But she sees it for what it actually is, a joke. Now we have another one here. Racism, white supremacism, and anti-immigrant hate. Well, those are some pretty heavy, harsh things. I clicked on these links too. That she believes in the Great Replacement theory. Let me just say, if you are here and you are working, I don't care if you're here illegally or not. If you are contributing to the societal growth that is America, I welcome you, and I hope that they never find you to take you back. But a lot of people who talk about things like this really only have an issue with the people coming over here and doing illegal things or being nuisances or gutting people in this society. But she posted a post saying, "Flawless victory. I was always happy with the mass deportations, but said for them to be more effective long term, Trump also needed to get rid of the incentive to come here illegally in the first place. The massive amount of free things given on the taxpayer dime. I love winning." This doesn't scream to me that someone is being a replacement theory fan. This screams to me that someone sees that the government is no longer making it the citizen's problem to take care of somebody. It should always be the government's problem to take care of somebody coming into this country. It should always come out of the government's pocket and not out of the citizens. The citizens will already help you as it is. In every place you go, there are good and bad people. But when I tell you that I myself have been at rock bottom, when I tell you that people I know are here in this circumstance, and they ask for naught, but they receive so much help because we see the effort. Meaning the right people are willing to go out of their way to already spend their money on these people because they see potential. And that is the only time it should be okay, is when it is a choice, not when it's being forced. And we have here another post saying, Kirsche presenting one lone radical as a representative of BLM. Now when I clicked on this, I did in fact find a post of someone claiming to be part of BLM, calling for black vigilantes to hunt down and kill white New Yorkers after Daniel Perry acquittal. Let me just say, it is never okay to call for the deaths of innocents because one person who did something wrong, the actual villain in your scenario, got off scot-free. What does them getting off scot-free have to do with innocent people? People not even involved. When you toss an open threat out like this, you call for the deaths of women, children, disabled, elderly, men, who are already a villain, I guess, in some people's eyes, so I guess that last one's fine. But it does also say in this post that the person in the video who leads a splinter group of BLM and is not registered as a member of the formal New York BLM branch. And yet when I click on this link, it says that it's not found. This link that they made, it's not there. Now, I could do some deeper research, but the whole point of this is that Black Lives Matter used to be Black Lives Matter just as much, which is a movement you can stand behind. But unfortunately, these radicalist groups that claim to be part of Black Lives Matter keep popping up more and more. And all she said was that anyone who still unironically supports BLM is a dangerous person. From her perspective, this is true when someone claiming to be a part of them is calling for people to hunt down other people and murder them. It is insane that someone can feel so bold as to call for this kind of racial violence and will face no repercussions. If someone of a different ethnicity, lighter skin, did this and it was reversed, there would be chaos. But it's okay to do it the other way around. And according to this post, it's only okay because this person is not an actual member of BLM. But it's not okay. And these not actual members keep popping up more and more. Let's take a look at another post. This one saying the featured clip on her Twitch, which just speaks for itself. Why does she have a Twitch redeem that's a bunch of kids dancing in front of pyramids and the word slaves projected all over? Who is it for? Answer seems fairly obvious. Do you know who it's for? It's for the people who are not victims and the people who are not easily offended. It is a joke. And remember, the real trick to being funny is making time between tragedy and comedy as short as humanly possible. Slavery was a tragedy. We can either doom and gloom and be sad about it, or we can find ways to not let it have that much control over our mind. People were held accountable. And the people that weren't held accountable, along with those people that were held accountable, are all currently spending eternity as Satan's personal pegging toys. So, let's see how long this Twitch clip is. Oh, it's 18 seconds. I know in terms of TikToks and YouTube Shorts, that's a really long time. And I know that those two things have rotted most of the attention span of every human being on Earth, but it's actually not that long. It's very short. And does she say anything? Well, let's watch the video.
Playing with my black pussy, as we all love to do. Oh god, that timing!
Wow. Yet another situation where she takes something that can be tough to deal with, something dealing with trauma, and she instead decides to laugh about it instead of being victimized and targeted. Kind of like how this person on this post keeps trying to target her with these twisted accusations taken out of context. But I will continue. Maybe there is some merit to this. Here we have another post saying Kirsche approvingly retweeting a fan posting her plushie on a shelf adorned with fascist literature. So she was approving of the literature. That's what this is sounding like, right? Well, let's go to the post and find out. So we see the post, yes, the fascist literature. What does she say? I like your sleeves, gloves, and boots. So because Kirsche didn't chastise this person for having fascist literature, because Kirsche did not try to control this person or shame this person for what they decide to read or practice, which, by the way, you can have that literature just to educate yourself on how not to be. That's a perspective that a victim would never take. So I'm giving it to them. She says, I love your sleeves, gloves, and boots. And then below on the same post, tagged with it, it says, Kirsche didn't want to untweet it because, quote, I didn't want to give them a win. This has a video attached to it as well.
But like, and I'll get into like more stuff as we go through the article. But like, I didn't want to unretweet it because I didn't want to give them a win. I probably should, just because people will point to it and be like, oh, she never unretweeted it. That means she endorses it. And it's like, I wanna support people who buy my merch. I wanna support people who fucking spend money on things that I'm selling, but I don't want that to be used to attack my sponsors or to attack my friends. So it's like, I guess I am forced into a corner where they have lied so much that I need to take action that I don't want to do.
Wow. So what she was actually saying by this is that she didn't want to give people who don't matter and shouldn't have an opinion in this circumstance. Yes, don't matter in this circumstance. I have to preface that so that way they don't go thinking that they don't matter at all. A voice for something that doesn't concern them. Seems pretty reasonable, really, but I digress. And I clicked on every single one of these, and all of them were name-calling, things being taken out of context, and things being twisted for the narrative of a victim. So you can best believe that these victims were very happy to see that Twitch temporarily banned Kirsche's channel for violating guidelines in terms of service. Now, there's no clear-cut answer as to why. However, people have pointed out that it could be because she reportedly read an inappropriate fan fiction by Anna Valens during her stream. Anna Valens, isn't that the same person that also tried to run a smear campaign, essentially, against her? I could get into that, but that would make this video a lot longer. And there are much more reputable sources that could give you better information on it. So we're going to not get into this so I don't bore you to death, like I'm getting bored, talking about all of these things taken out of context and being twisted. Now, Twitch didn't ban her for breaking rules. They banned her because people said she was being edgy and reading something that probably wasn't the way it was prefaced. Now granted, I suppose she was unbanned after a day. So does this make Twitch right-leaning now? See how stupid that was? How stupid that question sounded? Yeah, maybe it was stupid. Or maybe they will sing her happy birthday too. Now let's be clear. Everybody is allowed to speak their mind. Hassan Piker is another example who is allowed to speak his mind, say whatever he wishes. Kirsche can do the same. That's right. It's a right of every person, whether you agree with them or not, as long as they are not hurting you or hurting someone else. It is the same right that every person goes out and dies for, and that has died for. But here's the problem. To allow him that freedom and only ban him for a day for calling the death of someone else, and yet ban Kirsche for something taken out of context, even if just for a day, it's hypocritical and deplorable. If free speech is real, it has to apply equally. No exceptions, no favorites. Sing happy birthday to Kirsche for me, won't you, Twitch? Look, I'm sitting right here on this damn fence, and even I can tell who's more offensive. Don't need a microscope, just ears and half a brain. Hassan openly called for violence, banned for a day. Should have been more, but I digress. I can't even say that word on YouTube. Kirsche read what someone perceived to be something inappropriate, and it was taken and twisted so that she was banned for a day, when she shouldn't have probably been banned at all. Twitch is not a neutral platform in some ways. It's a stage for bias disguised as fairness. Granted, only in some ways, but these majorities are growing, and these majorities say, if you agree with us, you're safe. Speak out of line, we will try our damnedest to get rid of you. I don't like what you're doing. You have to stop. But if you don't like what I'm doing, tough shit. I'm right. That's not activism. That's narcissism with a cause. And too many treat the world like a content filter. If it challenges them, cancel it, report it, drown it in discourse or lies or twisting the truths about it until no one can speak. If the truth hurts, they run into their chambers filled with padded echoes of validation, and they call censorship safety and ignorance empathy. You don't need to change the world, just change the channel. But that's too hard. So instead, you screech into the void, demanding obedience, validation, and applause, all while contributing nothing but static. And this is my void. So I want to tell you something. Congratulations. You're an aneurysm with Wi-Fi. Kirsche didn't get targeted for hate. She got targeted for non-compliance. And that tells you everything you need to know. The world isn't supposed to cater to you. It's supposed to challenge you. And without challenges, you cannot grow. And if you can't handle the challenges of the world, maybe the problem isn't the world. Maybe the problem starts with you. Thank you so much for listening, my little shadows. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will be back with more soon. Have a blessed day.